Welcome everybody. As you gathered from the title, today we are going to be taking a look at two, but technically one character. So to begin with, as you guys can see over here, Scavenger has a lot of the ball and socket joints that make up his legs. That if these middle feet are turned inward, whereas the others are turned outward. That's because that is the only way this figure can stand like this. If these legs were flipped out like in the same direction as the other feet, his actual body is so heavy that the entire ant just collapses on the ground. Over here, you don't have as much posability with Inferno, but because of his legs actually being, just molded plastic and stuff, but it's actually able to stand a little bit easier than it is messing with Scavenger. Like, he's got a lot of really cool translucent, sparkly red bits. And it's going for what it actually is trying to be, is just a somewhat good approximation of an ant, whereas Scavenger is not limited to that. He is supposed to look like a robotic metal ant, and he could just go freaking crazy with his design. But you look at all of his, uniquely transmetal qualities, and he's holding up extremely well, and I gotta say, I like the transmetal look a little bit more. Now, if you were going to compare these things, Scavenger actually has a uniquely distinct advantage in comparison to Inferno. It's because, like most Transmetals, he actually had a third mode. The whole shtick of the Transmetals was that they were supposed to mainly still look a lot like the beasts that they are, but just have vehicle stylized elements to them. Plus, when you space these out, if you have smaller figures like Quick Strike or others, they can actually ride him into battle, kind of like their own personalized transport, which that's kind of cool too. Among the things you'll probably notice is the fact that he has these big industrial wheels back here, which I love the way they look. And as you will also notice up here, these wheels are connected to the auger drills. Now this one is a little bit loose, that whenever he moves forward like this, when you see the drills, they'll move right along. And in addition, also you can see how the back wheels move. So these little antennas, I kind of like to think of them as maybe that they turned into cannons. So not only while the Maximals are running away and he's chasing them with drills, he could be shooting at them. But as a little bit of size comparison, here is how he compares to Sideswipe. That gives you a little bit of an idea as to how he scales. He's super big. Of course, Beast Wars of his scale were labeled as megas. But how does Scavenger stack up whenever we compare him and Inferno in their robot modes? Okay, robot mode is not their best, but we're gonna go over why. Inferno, he's mostly there. He's mostly there. He's mostly how he's supposed to look, except for his hands. Like, they stuck out in beast mode, and here they're not even paying it off by being a fully functional hand. The next problem that ties into that is his weapons. It doesn't even look like the cool gun he had in the show. Forget Edward Scissorhands. This guy's Inferno drill hands over here, and to be honest, it's a little more intimidating than what Inferno's got going on. You can actually make an approximation of a claw, and it's a pretty good size one, because if you bring his ant mode head down here, now you can see he's got this little claw bit that is an option to you. Now this is something else that Inferno does have a accurate to the show propeller, which it has this button over here, which if you activate it, does the whole spinning thing, and you can just imagine those thrusters shooting out fire. So you may be thinking, well, if Scavenger was supposed to be kind of like a future iteration of him, did he gain his drill tank mode at the cost of his flight mode? Well, I think that's kind of all up to your opinion, because if you flip down his backpack over here, here's where the wheels again reappear, but just like how he has 4 thrusters right here, what if you used your imagination and these were just basically rockets that he could still fly around in robot mode? So guys, here we're just doing, as our last little piece, a comparison to a current Siege figure. And you can kind of see that Soundwave, as a Voyager, he's on par with these guys, and pretty much I think it's pretty plain that the Voyagers have taken over the spot that the Mega slot once held. But anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this real brief look at Inferno and Scavenger, and until next time guys, we'll see you in another review.